I'm Russ Milheim from The Direct. Good to speak with you.
Nice to meet you.
Same. Fantastic work on the show.
Thank you.
You're truly incredible in it.
Thank you.
So my first question is, what does it feel like to be like the top Emmy contender already?
Oh, that's very kind. I really I try to like not. I keep my head in the sand.
Episode 4 just aired, and it was your big spotlight episode, and it was great. And I wanted to just ask you, what was kind of your North Star in figuring out that performance, that journey for her character in that episode? What did you focus on to make sure everything fell into place?
Wow, it's a really. I think I had two incredible collaborators in Lauren and in Helen Shaver, who directed it. And I feel like they were sort of my North Stars. Like we felt so aligned, and we shot that episode so quickly. I think we shot that episode in like 10 days, like maybe less. I don't know. And it was so intense, and you just kind of had to do it. And I feel like I felt supported by them and guided by them, and like I was given permission to sort of try anything, and in this very like high pressure environment, because you're trying to shoot a lot in a little bit of time, and you're working long hours and all this stuff. And so I would say that they were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, congratulations on the show. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
4 episodes in, what has surprised you the most about the general reaction to the series?
I don't know what surprised me. I guess, it's really thrilling that people seem to connect to it emotionally. I really appreciate that people are caring about all the little details that I cared about as a writer, that people are responding to the humor and the mix of tones, that people are embracing a twisted guy like Oz, that they're finding the heart in Victor, that they're seeing how challenging and interesting Francis is, and that they've embraced Sofia for, more of an original version of that character from the comics. So like across the board, all of it's been really exciting.
She's a really wonderful villain and very well crafted. So props to that.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
See, so episode 4 just came out, and it was a big Arkham flashback. And I wanted to ask, there's the obscure villain in it, Magpie. What other villains did you guys consider throwing in there for those kind of scenes, and maybe even for that where Magpie was? Who else was potentially considered?
I mean, honestly, for that episode, we thought just about Sofia, like Sofia's journey. It's a tricky episode because it's only about an hour long, and we told a lot of story in it. It's like, how can you express Arkham? How can you express what this woman goes through it? So it was all through the lens of Sofia. So we didn't want to like throw the kitchen sink at us, and we didn't want to have a character that would detract from her experience or have people be like, oh, it's
casual Joker.
Yeah, not a casual Joker, not a Harley Quinn. Like, those characters are amazing, but for what we were doing, we're telling Sofia's story, and we just want you to be immersed in her perspective in her world.
Calendar Man, that could have been a fun one.
Hey, there's a million great rogues. Like, if you could name so many, I'd be like, yeah, I'm down for that. Like,
we'll do all
great.
of that right
yeah,
now. We're
let's
gonna be
do
right.
it. Yeah.
So, if Victor encountered Batman if he ever encountered during the show, right? Just say alternate. This is an alternate timeline.
Sure.
Do you think that experience would have changed his trajectory? Do you think if he ran into Batman, would he have maybe broken out of his relationship with Penguin and be like, maybe I shouldn't be?
At what point are we talking in the series? Beginning, middle, end? Very different Victor.
This is true. Let's go let's go middle. Middle of your journey.
Middle, so like right now. Episode 4 just came out yesterday. Episode 5's coming out Sunday, or came out this week. I would say, I think he's a little far in. If Batman beats the hell, can I curse? If Batman beats the shit out of him, maybe he'll change his ways. But I think right now, episode 5, he's made a decision. I'm sticking with Oz. This is the route we're going down. I think maybe he trembles a bit when Batman comes around, but I think he'll stick to the course.
You're not stopping me.
We're on our way already. The car's going, GPS is in.
Speaking of car, I wanted to ask you, did they let you actually drive the fancy car?
Oh, a bunch, all over the place.
Nice.
They let me. The most fun I had was honestly before we started shooting. They let me test drive it. And I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this. I drove the wheels off that thing for like an hour. Me and the stunt coordinator, we just went out and for 30, 40 minutes, just burning the rubber. It was awesome. So much fun.
That sounds like fun. I got to drive Porsches for the first time recently on like a test track, so I got to go full speed.
The full speed, and then hit the brakes and it kind of reminded me like the chase sequence in the Batman. Is kind of what I was going through my mind when I was driving around.
So the love between Francis and Oz is twisted. How did you work with Colin Farrell to really find where the center of all that is?
I feel like we never talked about it. We never worked on it. We never rehearsed it. We never discussed it. We were just so lucky to find each other. It was one of those, getting struck by lightning. From the minute we started our first, it was just our, the rehearsal where you're just like, everybody tries on their clothes and you get in and it's the camera test. So they were just testing the cameras and how we look on the cameras. And from the minute he was in his full regalia and I was in my full regalia, it was like, oh, game on. So we did not talk about it. We just did it.
It was just so natural. It was just so natural.
Now, we both had done an enormous amount of homework. I had to learn that exact dialect. I had to match exactly what he had built for the Batman. And it's a dialect that sounds so familiar, but it's pretty damn specific.
Yeah.
And so I had worked on that a lot. I had worked on Frances's diseases a lot. I had worked on Frances's look and the way she carried herself and worked on the backstory that but nobody else knows. So I knew all that stuff going in and had done like a lot of outside in kind of thinking about it. But once Colin and I got together, it just seemed like, oh, okay, here we are. I'm Francis and you're Oz. But it partly has to do with the amazing prosthetic because I never had to deal with there's the beautiful, kind, glorious Colin Farrell. I never had to deal with any of that. He was always Oz.
I bet you can't imagine going through all that makeup process every day.
I can't. I can imagine doing it maybe twice in my life. He did it every day. That was just...
So much.
He was just devoted.
Congratulations on the show, first and foremost.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
My opening question is, who do you think is more terrifying, Oz or Sofia?
Sofia, like all day long. She's terrifying.
Is that as you or the character?
It's me. No, I think as both. I don't think that Johnny Viti ever really took Oz all that seriously. I think that the character Johnny wants her to stay and be in a place where he can control her, but there's a part of him that knows it might not be such an easy thing to do.
Might not work out for you.
He finds out. How'd that work out, Johnny?
What was, and you kind of touched upon it, but what were the big differences in switching how your character acts with, Oz, who he doesn't take seriously, and then Sofia?
Yeah.
What was it like figuring out just kind of his temperament and how he interacts with those two people?
Look, I feel incredibly blessed to have played with those two in this world.
Yeah.
And doing so informed a lot of physically doing it with them informed a lot of my decisions as an actor, as the character, how they went against one another, how they played. Lauren wrote the most, these guys wrote incredible scripts. It's on the page. But when you're on those sets, when you're in that fucking real world, and it's they all felt so real. Bouncing it off one another dictates a lot of how it comes out,
Yeah. What so your character has been around for a little bit, just off screen, during the events of the Batman, even before that. Did you ever consider what history you might have with the Batman himself? Have you guys interacted, do you think?
No, I didn't go into that. No, I didn't go into that world. You got to figure. I wonder. My guess would be
punched
no.
once or twice, maybe.
My guess would probably no, because I don't know that Johnny Viti would still be around if he did run into him.
That's true.
Maybe a kapow.